It's Monday and we're talking stress management.
Right here on Foster Life, the conversation starts now. It's Monday here on Foster Life. How was your weekend?
It was good.
It was real good, or
It was rainy,
oh yeah,
so it wasn't the greatest. I kind of had to stay inside. But,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was okay.
yeah. Spring is definitely here in the Ozarks, and that rain. It's good because we need it.
Yeah, everything's getting real green, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on Branson shows because we have this show coming up on May 11th in Branson, Missouri. And man, I gotta tell you, since I've left there, there's a lot of new things going on there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty exciting. And I didn't realize that, was it NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys? I think it was NSYNC. Was one of the members of NSYNC was at the Mansion Theater and just shot a music video there last week. So really cool things happening in Branson, and we're hoping that we can have a couple of those entertainers on our show
Yes.
on May 11th, and there's going to be some fun things. So I was kind of doing some research, and we might have to go up and check out a couple of shows and work on that a little bit as well too.
Sounds good to me.
So today we're talking about stress management.
Yes. Something that I'm not very good at.
Really? So how are some ways that you deal with stress, either
Well,
bad or good?
The bad way when it comes to stress for me, I hold it in. And I'll hold it in and hold it in and hold it in to a point where it's just at that breaking point.
Oh yeah.
And everything seems to just blow up.
Yeah.
That's my bad way. The good way is I step back from the situation, take a deep breath, look out. Normally I'm in my car whenever I'm working, so I look out and I'm like, hey, this day isn't too bad, let's restart the day.
Right.
And so I'll take a deep breath, and whenever I let out all the bad, and then get started with having a good day.
You know, everything that I've read in preparing for this show, the number one thing it says is breathe.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Now me, my bad way is I eat.
I'd have to say I'm kind of an eater.
And I eat when I'm really stressed. And when I quit smoking, that was pretty stressful for me. I had smoked since upper elementary age, all the way through junior high, all the way through high school, and then for many,
That's
many
another
years.
thing I did when it came to stress. I'd chew for a little while, and it seemed like
Oh,
a stress
yeah.
reliever, and then I was like, no, I should stop doing that.
So I would. So when I quit smoking, that's how I gained all this weight, because instead of smoking, I would eat.
Right.
And so I kind of traded one for another, but then I got on this healthy eating, so that's good. But some of the good ways that I do is sometimes I just got to get away. And I have so many people in my life, and I have so many people that depend on me every single day. Sometimes I just got to step back and just go take some time, and that might just be going in the backyard or mowing the lawn or going on a drive for about 15-20 minutes and then coming back and then getting there. Do you have any other ways that you deal with stress?
Going for drives. I enjoy going for drives, like you said. Another one would probably be, I like doing something if I'm irritated. I like to get my mind off of it. So like going to mow the yard or working on a truck, maybe changing your oil or something. That gives you a little bit of time to just step back away from the situation and get your mind on something else.
Sometimes if I do chores, it just makes me feel good because I accomplished something and it kind of gets my mind off of it.
Mm-hmm.
One way that's probably negative that I do is I am so much like my mother was. And I have this really long fuse, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and then when I blow, I blow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a hitter or like physically violent, but I'm a yeller and a screamer, and I can be really, my kids know when I'm ticked off and I've had enough stress and they've just got me under the gun. They know, watch out, back off, and but it takes me a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pretty patient person.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm kind of laid back and patient, and it takes a long time for me to get to a point where I'm irritated.
I can put up with a lot, and then once I've kind of had enough, I've had enough.
Yeah, I let people know at that point.
And that's probably not the best way for me to deal with it either, but that's why we're doing today's show, because when we foster and adopt, there's a lot of stress, and we're going to talk about some of those things that happen, but also a lot of the kids that come in to our homes, they're really stressed too. And you got to imagine, they've just been pulled from their parents, and no matter what the parents did or what the family did, no matter how neglected they were, how abused they were, whatever the situation was, it's a huge stress because even if things are bad, just being taken out of that environment, not being with their parents anymore, and sometimes not being with their siblings, and not being with their family, that's a really stressful thing. And they're going to start a new school, and they're going to go to a new doctor, and they got all of these things that have to be done and requirements that they have to fulfill. And then they have social workers that come, and they're asking questions, and they're kind of getting, to know them and stuff, and that's stressful. So it's really stressful for them as well. And so we're going to talk about how we can, one, help the youth that are coming in, and two, how we can kind of help ourselves so that we're the most effective. And so we'll be talking more about stress management when we come back
on Foster Life.
Rob, Foster Life here. We want to invite you May 11th to join us in Branson, Missouri at the Wildwood Indoor Mini Golf. We're going to get together with the Foster community and just have a bunch of fun. We can play mini golf, there's going to be food, prizes, and much more. And you can even be a part of our live studio audience for our taping that day in Branson, Missouri. So join us at the Wildwood Indoor Mini Golf, Foster TV, Foster Life, live there. Courtney, Mama T, Rosley, and Tristan, the whole gang is going to be there that day. See ya from 11 to 4 on May 11th at the Wildwood Indoor Mini Golf, Branson, Missouri. See you then. As things that you can do for stress, yoga is awesome. And if you can get into a yoga class and find time to do that, during the day, on a lunch hour, after work, before work, they have them all times a day, but that's a really good thing. But the interesting thing is, we were talking about breathing. Yoga is a lot of breathing.
Right.
Finding peace, doing types of things as well.
My sister actually loves to do yoga. That's one of her go-to things if she's stressed out or having a bad day.
Yep. Some people find it peaceful to meditate and to just kind of go off into a room and kind of relax, meditate. I like to, we have Bluetooth in our house, and so sometimes I'll just put on, if everybody's just stressed, I just kind of put on some relaxing music throughout the whole house, you know, so that it's just kind of playing, and you can just watch everybody kind of, music is a really good stress reliever.
Yeah, I like to listen to music and go for a walk or go on a hike. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yep, doing some exercise. You know, if things are really stressful around the house and everything, okay, everybody, let's get your bike. We're gonna go on a bike ride. We're gonna go to the park. We're gonna play and let them relieve. But also, that's gonna help you to relieve stress too. If you're riding your bike along and you're
Or if they're playing at the park and you're just sitting on the bench and watching basically what you created. You created this family that likes to play on the swing set or something together.
Right. In a medical situation, we had this happen. So what it was is our little boy was on vacation with us in Colorado, and he was at that age when they're toddlers and they just take off on you. So we were watching him. We're at this park. We're watching him, and we're standing there, and he took off, and he's running, and so we're trying to get to him, and there's people there and stuff, and he went and touched a metal slide, and it burned both of his hands, and got big blisters. Well, if you get all upset, it is a stressful situation, and he's hurt. But if you get all upset and you're yelling and screaming and stuff, that's just going to make the child
scared,
stressed,
more.
cry,
They're already
scream.
freaking out and crying because, I mean, their hands obviously hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want to just add to the fire.
And we were kind of new at this when this happened, and we were stressed, and it showed, and it made it worse for him. But when we got to the emergency room, and number one, heard the doctor saying that he treats kids for the same thing, and he doesn't know why the park doesn't change the slide, because he treats them several times a week for the same stuff. That kind of relaxed us, because we knew that, okay, we're not bad parents. And then when he brought them popsicles, put them on the gurney. Rose and him are close in age, so we put them both on the gurney, and here comes the nurse with popsicles for both of them. Yeah. And then they're smiling and happy, and his hands are all wrapped and everything. And so if I could have changed anything before then, it was probably when I picked him up and he was screaming, I probably should have just took a deep breath, took another deep breath, and then said, okay, we're gonna go. And it was really cool. There at the park, there was a firehouse right there with the ambulance. So we just went right to the firehouse there. We didn't have to call an ambulance or anything, and then the paramedics took him, and then we had it over to the emergency room to have his hands wrapped and stuff.
I feel like one thing to do as a parent is maybe even in that situation, after you take your deep breath, just explain to the child, okay, this is what's going to happen, and this is what we're doing now. And whenever you tell that child that, then they know in their mind, okay, I've just got to get to this point before for instance, my hands are going to be okay.
And relieve them of the concern. Ambulances are scary.
For kids,
Fire trucks are scary. When we had our accident when we were on vacation and they ran into the back of the bus, I remember telling the kids, there's going to be some ambulance coming, there's going to be some fire trucks coming, there's going to be police officers coming, but everything's going to be okay. We're fine. We're going to be okay. We're going to get home, relax, everything. And I feel like I handled that very stressful situation really good
Yes.
in comparison to the way I handled the other stressful situation. So those medical situations can be really scary, but I think you're right. Take a deep breath, calm down, and then tell them what's coming so that they're not afraid when they
Right.
hear all the sirens and all of the
And
things
then
that come
reassure
up.
them, I'm going to be right here next to you, and we're going to handle
Yeah.
this together.
Yeah, and if they need to go to the hospital, we're right there with you. A few months ago, our son had a car accident, and he had some of our kids in the car with him, and they had our kids in the ambulance being checked out and stuff. And when they saw us, because it took us a minute to get there from the time he called us and everything, and when they saw us, because we were relaxed, you could see that they automatically relaxed. And our little boy, who's only 3, he was just kind of going nutso
Yeah.
about, because we weren't there.
Right.
And then he really calmed down once he saw us. But they're going to react the way you react, so you want to remain calm.
Definitely, yeah.
Sometimes another thing that I do is when something's really stressful, or I feel like something's stressful,
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about, okay, in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, where does this fall? And it's usually way down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's like one of our kids has an F in a class. And I'm so stressed, and I'm thinking, how are we going to get this F brought up? And it's going to affect his graduation. He's going to have to retake this class again. And then I step back and I think, okay, in the grand scheme of things, how bad is this? Well, it's just a grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get him tutoring. We're going to get him help. We're going to
Right.
figure it out. And so once you kind of look at the big picture, it's like, why am I so stressed out about this? I mean, it's going to be fine.
I mean, you have to still make sure to get your kid to tutoring and make sure that they have a ride home if it's after school tutoring. But if that's all that it takes in order for him to raise his grade, I mean, just thinking, oh yeah, I mean, I could surely find a grandparent or something to get him there. It's all going to be okay.
Right. And don't borrow trouble. We got a notice that we were being served papers, and I wasn't a very good role model for my kid, because guess what? As soon as I found out about it, I was stressing, and I'm thinking, what's happening? Is somebody suing us? What did we do? And I'm wondering all these things, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me what the heck was going on, or what we could have done, or who was suing us, or whatever. And then the next day, when they came back and we were home to be served, we were getting served the termination of parental rights so that we could adopt our daughter.
Wow.
And here I stressed out about it, and I was probably a really poor example to my kids about borrowing trouble. And here it was a really awesome, celebrative type thing.
Right.
So don't borrow trouble for yourself. If you don't know the complete story, your kids are watching you, and they're watching how you're going to react. And sometimes it's something good, or it's a lot smaller than you think it is.
Right.
And we've done that before as well. When we come back, we're going to wrap up stress management today. Real quick. So, in closing with stress management, I think the biggest thing is find your coping skills and how to kind of de-escalate your stress management and follow through. The best is when you're a good role model and you handle stress correctly. That's how our kids do it. And I watch when I stress eat because I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Guess what?
The kids will do it too.
My Robert, Kyle, and Rosley, they do the same thing. And I'm not setting a very good example for them, and I'm not giving them a healthy way to deal with stress. So if you're healthy in your stress management, they're going to be healthy in theirs.
Well, also in this situation, it may be where the parent's stressed out and so is the child. So that would be a good opportunity to be like, hey, you know, I'm not really feeling myself right now. Let's go get an ice cream or something.
Right.
And just talk about, that'll open up the conversation to where you can talk about what's stressing you out with your child there also.
Yeah. My mom used to tell me that 90% of the things that we stress about are never even going to come to truth.
Mm-hmm.
So why stress out about it?
That or it's not going to matter in 5 years down the road.
And if I think about that as an older man,
Mm-hmm.
my mom was right. Most of the stuff that I used to stress and worry about, and I find as I get older that I kind of get more mellow
Yeah.
and more